There you go.
All right, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for
What's
joining us.
going?
Thank you for joining us. Fellas, what's going on? It's been a long time. Talk to me. Tell me something good.
Hey man, we just living life, man, one day at a time.
There you go.
I'll tell you something good. Caleb Williams and the damn offense. How about them, man? They
I'm
Yes,
look
sir.
telling you.
awesome.
I'm telling you.
Oh,
I
shucky ducky
almost,
quack quack now.
I
Yes,
almost
yes,
shed, I
yes.
almost shed a tear watching that Bears offense, man.
Ooh, man, look at here, man. I could not believe that I actually saw an actual NFL offense ran by the
Yeah.
Bears. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
what, what is this?
He's right,
Oh, man.
right, right.
BJ, what's going on, man? I like the beard,
Man,
brother.
man, I'm living the dream, man. I mean, I feel like I'm in a dream with the Bears, the way the Bears are playing. Shoot. I mean, I don't I mean
Hey,
I couldn't have asked for anything better than going to the break than a 4-2 record.
So
Couldn't
BJ, are
ask
you
anything
are
better.
you coming around now, BJ?
Coming around what? Hold on. Coming around what?
Because you was the one telling us to pump the brakes a little bit.
No, well, I said pump the brakes, but I said it was going to all come around. But I'm not there where I'm thinking 13, 14 wins this
Oh
season.
no no
I'm
no no.
not there
No,
Oh
yet.
no,
yeah,
no, no,
okay,
no,
yeah
no,
yeah no no
no. No,
I'm
no.
not there. I'm not
no
there
no
yet.
no. I feel you on that.
Maybe
But
they go got Miles Garrett or
I'm
something.
starting to like where this offense is going. I'm starting to like where it's going.
you
All
know,
right.
I'm gonna touch on that, man. So let's kick everything off. Let's kick it off. We got a limited amount of time, so we're gonna try to squeeze as much as we can into this limited amount of time that we have.
Okay.
So let's touch on the top. We're gonna hold the actual topic to like mid show, leaning toward the end, because I want to jump in and kind of go off of what BJ was saying with regard to everybody having these high hopes in terms of what they think what the record's going to end up being. So with
Mhm.
that being said, we're gonna go from top to bottom. I'm gonna be the last one on this. Q,
Yes
based
sir.
off of what you've seen from week one to now, what do you think we're going to end up at in terms of record wise, but more importantly, where we're going to end up at in the NFC North?
Ah, well, let me start with the NFC North. As much as I hate to say it, the damn Detroit Lions is the real fucking deal, man. I don't see the Bears catch. I don't see no team in the North catching the Detroit Lions. They a complete team. I hope they when they do get to play, I hope they just fold. But as them, they're a complete team. Now, as far as the Bears record, like I said before the season started, I still got the Bears at 10 wins. Is the floor. And wherever after that, if they get more than that, that's just extra gravy. So I got the Bears. So far, it's on track a little bit because I did have them at 5-1 at this point. But 4-2 is great. Was
Hmm.
4-2 was fantastic, so I'm not complaining. And they still on track to get the 10 wins. So
Okay,
that's where I'm standing at.
Mike, what about you?
I think, yeah, I was with Q going into the season. I said 10 wins for the Bears, but now that we are 6 weeks in, a lot of things have changed. I didn't think Minnesota was going to be very good, at least this good. I thought they were going to be better than expectation, which was like one of the worst teams. I thought they were about a 7-8 win team, but they're clearly a lot better than that. Washington's clearly proven to be a lot better, and this whole division is just absolutely insane. So I think I had them 3-3 at this point because I thought Jacksonville was going to be a little bit better in London. They always play better in London type thing. I thought maybe that would set the Bears up for a loss there. So they're ahead of my expectation, but I think still I got to temper it a little bit. I think 10 wins still sounds about right just because of how hard the division is. And really, I mean, some of their other opponents like Seattle looks good. We knew San Francisco was going to be really good. But at least they still got some easy ones in there with New England and Arizona coming up.
BJ?
Um, I am pleasantly surprised with the Bears. As far as record wise, I I I I I, I was expecting 9 in between 9 and 11 wins. I'm thinking I'm with Q. I'm thinking 10 wins could be our floor. 10 wins could be our floor. Anything above that should will be just just be like a cherry on top. As far as division is concerned, I think we're going to be in the realm of three 3-2, maybe 3-2. It depends on if Minnesota keeps this uptick, because I mean that's a surprise thing. Minnesota's a surprise. I was not expecting this at all,
Really?
especially with the whole quarterback issue. But they seem like they can they might be a threat. So if they continue their hot streak, um, we gonna be fighting with Green Bay for third and fourth. So I mean, and even if we're last in the division, I still think we're a playoff team, possibly. Division's
Well, it's
tough.
funny you say that. You know, it's funny you say that. I went on record on Nomad Live, and I was saying this was when the record was when the schedule was first released, and we had a show and we was talking about a few things in regards to wins and losses and where those wins and losses. So that right now they're pretty much where I thought they would be going into the bye, with two losses. The surprise for me, and I won't even say it's really a surprise because although I've never been a big Sam Darnold fan, I always thought that if he had an opportunity to actually have an offensive coordinator that could pretty much put an offense, design an offense to his strengths, and that's all that's really happening here. I mean, they have an offense that's really pretty much geared to his strengths. He's not a big turnover machine, which has helped them. You know, so I'm not overly surprised with Minnesota. I actually went on record to say this with a few of my buddies. I thought that the NFC North was going to end up being the toughest conference in all of NFL,
It's turned out to be.
and it's very absolutely, and it's very possible. This is how I think it's going to shake out. Me personally, I think the NFC East is going to have one
I
team come
agree.
out of
I
it.
agree.
Whoever wins
Yep.
the NFC East is going to be the team that they're going to make it to the playoffs. Right now, the way it's looking, I'm thinking Washington is going to be the one to come out of the NFC East. That's just me personally. I think Washington's going to end up winning that division. I don't I don't have I've never been I'm not a Cowboys fan, and unfortunately, right now, um, and me and my dad had this conversation. I told my dad, I said the Cowboys be lucky if they win 9 games this season, because I didn't feel they did anything,
Yeah.
to add anybody to improve the roster at all. And when they didn't go out and get King Henry and let Baltimore grab him, I thought that was the biggest mistake they could make.
Okay.
And the fact that I don't see them making any moves right now to try to improve their roster by getting either another wide receiver or adding another running back just lets me know that I think Jerry is low key tanking for a reason, and I'm gonna touch on that at the very end of the show. But I have the Bears right now. I have them with 10 wins as well. I think we're going to end up tied for second with either Green Bay or
Yeah,
Minnesota.
but hold up, but see, let me ask you something to piggyback off, because you say you're not surprised by Minnesota. So you telling me you're not surprised? You're not surprised Sam Darnold's playing this good? That's why everybody's surprised.
Yeah,
No,
I am.
I'm not
I'm
surprised.
not.
I'm not surprised
I'm not.
that
And,
I'm
and
not
I'm going to
surprised
tell you
about the
why.
defense, but I am surprised about Sam Darnold playing the way he's playing.
I'm not. And I'm going to tell you why. They got a heck of an offensive minded head coach, man. He knows how to design plays, man. And again, like I said, all you need is somebody that can actually design plays to the strengths of your quarterback. They're not asking him to do much. He's doing a real good job just being a game manager,
Yeah,
man. You know, think about it. They got one of the top 3 wide receivers,
yeah.
bro.
I think he gonna. I think he gonna come back down to earth, though, man. I honestly do. Man.
I think I'm with you, Q. I think they come down a little bit. I think they're
I'm-
still good though. I think they're
yeah,
still
yeah.
good.
They're still good. Yeah, they're gonna be. It's gonna be tough. Like y'all said, the division is definitely tougher than what I thought it was.
I mean,
Yeah,
they've beaten some tough teams now.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. But it's not.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
so I
bro.
mean,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard for me to think that they're going to have this drastic, you know, drop
Drop
off.
off.
Because
Well,
if they were going to do this drop off, they would have done this against these tough competitors they already played.
yeah. But you know, the NFC North is going to beat each other up, though. So
Yeah, that's
it's going to
true.
balance out.
The
It's
North,
definitely going to balance out.
yeah, North will beat us. We'll beat each other up in the North. Yeah, for sure.
It's going to
So
balance out.
Well, I think for us, I think what's going to end up happening, I think each team is going to pretty much protect their home field within the division. W- There's going to have to be at least 2 teams in the division that win 2 games against a divisional opponent to come out of the division. You're going to have whoever wins the division right now. I think Detroit still will win the division. And then it's going to be between us, Green Bay, and Minnesota, who's going to end up being that second team to come out of the division. And between that, one of us is going to have to beat the other one twice. So the question is, do we beat Minnesota twice or do we beat Green Bay twice?
I think it's more
Because
realistic that we
that's
beat
the only way
Detroit
I
twice.
think we're going to come
I
into.
think
I was
more
gonna
realistic.
be. I'm with you, BG. I think we could beat Detroit twice because we should have done it last year.
Yeah,
Like we should have done it last year. That's what people.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
this. That's
I
spicy.
think
Okay.
we
All
can
right.
beat
Now
Detroit
we.
I
twice.
agree. I agree with Mike. And it's the key thing is, for whatever reason, Goff do not play good when he goes up against the Bears. Whatever
That too.
reason.
And we're not even talking about it, but they just lost their stud defensive
Yeah,
end.
that's going to hurt them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Goff outside in general sucks. So like in Soldier Field, he doesn't A, play well in Soldier Field, and B, outside. So I mean, I really feel good about them beating the Lions at Soldier Field. And that's also a historical thing with the Vikings. They'll come into Soldier Field. I mean, look at past years. I can look at 2017. I think that was Trubisky's debut. They were a lot better team than the Bears, and they struggled mightily.
Yeah.
They just always seem to struggle in Soldier Field. It's just one of those weird NFL patterns. So I mean, I think you could really make the argument that like we could go 3-0 at home.
But,
I mean,
we
I know
could.
Green Bay.
let me-
I know
but
Green
let-
Bay is the big one, but
Nah, yeah,
I
that's what
feel
I'm
good
about
about
to
the
say.
other two.
Y'all think about Detroit. I think we can sweep Green Bay this year. I said it.
I-
Yeah. I don't think Green Bay is good
Until we
as
beat
they
them
are.
once, I'm
Woo!
not going on
Hold
record
on,
to
hold
say
on, hold
that.
on, hold
Yeah,
on, hold on,
you
fellas,
heard
hold
me.
on, fellas. We got. Hold on, fellas, hold on. Wait a minute. We got a nice sandwich here, a nice sandwich, and now we pouring the jardinera on it. Yes. Now let's go. That's Q. Oh no, you
Oh, yeah.
didn't. Go with it, Q. Keep going.
I think Green Bay defense is very overrated. I do like I gotta be honest. Jordan Love is he's a baller, but I just don't think they're as good as what people think they are. I think they're about to
As
start. I think
advertised.
from this week on, you're about to start seeing a okay Green Bay team, not a playoff Green Bay team. You're going to see a mid Green Bay team because I still don't believe in their receivers. I think their
Don't
defense
sleep on
is
them
over.
receivers. Them receivers are good.
I still think the
They're-
defense. I think their defense is
I
overrated.
am no Green Bay fan at all.
Yeah, I know.
But
I understand.
those receivers make plays.
Yeah, I'm
You
still.
know,
I'm not.
they may
I like
not
Jaden
they may
Reed.
not be household names,
I'm not
but they
sold.
make plays.
I'm not sold on Green Bay, fellas. I think the Bears.
I feel you, but I'm just saying we can't as Bears fans and as a Bears organization, they cannot sleep on Green Bay, regardless on
Yo,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
think
No,
they're
nobody's sleeping on. I just don't think Green. I think Green Bay is the weakest team in the North.
on paper they might be. On paper
Yeah.
they might be. But you gotta remember we're still a young team and we're still learning this offensive system. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
who has a better coach? That's key too.
That's key.
Ooh,
That's key.
ooh, ooh,
But the reason I
BJ.
say that, I think this is the year where the defense wins both of those games against Green Bay. That's what I'm saying. I think both of them teams.
We got to be
Yeah,
healthy
yeah,
though,
yeah,
Q.
yeah. You
Yeah.
got to. I think the main thing why I say this, then I'm gonna let y'all go, is because I think if the secondary is healthy, I think they can lock down those receivers, and then the D line gonna tee off on Jordan Love.
If
That's
we
why
can
I
stay
think.
healthy, we got to stay healthy
Yeah, yeah. Of
Yep.
course, every team got to stay healthy, but I really think the
because we're not
secondary,
even healthy right now.
the secondary is the key. By the time they play Green Bay, hopefully the secondary be more healthy. The secondary is the key to them sweeping Green Bay.
Hey, man,
That's
I'm
just how
with
I
you. If
feel.
that happens, hey, I'm with you. If that happens, I
Let's
wouldn't
let's
doubt it no
let's look at
more.
this schedule, man. Let's look at this schedule. I'm with you. Look, I'm gonna be honest, man. For me, I honestly think, with regard to with Green Bay, man, they're so unpredictable because this is a team that has never really had a big name receiver, but they receivers always manage to produce. And I don't, and I don't put nothing past Lafleur in terms of designing plays. You know, but I think, and something that you both you guys touched on. One, we do have a young offense that's still the training wheels are off, and it's learning how to get down the street some. I think what's going to be key for us, and I want to touch on this too, guys. Offensively, I really believe that if we can really truly establish a running game predicated on our running backs, not our quarterback being the leading rusher, but our running backs, to where we can get the full attention of other defenses when it comes to our running backs. I think that's going to be the key to help push our offense across the finish line in terms of that maturation of being a real true offense to where teams fear the offense. They right now they got people's attention because of the weapons. But I think if we can get the running game going to where they now look and say, okay, who's in that backfield? Whether it's Swift, whether it's Johnson, whether it's Herbert, or whomever they choose to put back there. If it get to that point, and with Caleb constantly getting more and more confidence, this is gonna be a scary team.
Yep.
And on the flip side, on the other side of the football, defensively, health is going to be key. And as much as I want to say, as much as I want to sit up and say that the secondary, which the secondary is going to definitely be that that mainstay. I honestly think that the most important position right now on that defense, and it's not even our edge rushers, Dexter.
Yes, I've been preaching
I
that.
think that
I've been
three
preaching
tech,
He's been
that
that
awesome.
since the
three
all
tech,
season.
man, that
Yes,
three tech,
yes.
brother.
Oh, now
Look,
Bishop,
if he
we
keep wrecking shop like he's
we all
doing,
said that he was gonna be the breakout player. Every one
Yep,
of us
yep.
on this
Absolutely.
show tonight before said he was gonna be the breakout player,
he's proving it.
Yeah.
and we're right so far.
Yeah. Hey, he's proving it
But
right
but
now,
but
man. I
but
mean, you
even when he's
cannot look,
not
brother.
getting
I'm here to tell
sacks,
you.
he is
Mm.
causing havoc back there.
But but that's the thing. That's what that position is supposed to
Yes.
Yep.
do. Getting sacks is actually just that's cherry on
Yep.
top. Him getting the
Yep.
sacks. The fact that he's being disruptive to the point now where he's getting double teamed. Yes, sir. So with that being said, man, let's transition here and let's talk about the offense for a minute. From week 1 to now, we all have to say that we've seen a major shift. My question is, what do you think took place behind the scenes for this shift to occur? Mike, I'm gonna let you start off on that one.
Well, if you go, it started. How far are we now into the season? 3 weeks ago, right? It was after the Colts game. Like,
Yeah.
if that Colts game doesn't go as terribly awful as it did with the garbage calls from Waldron, specifically at the goal line, I mean, you could really look at that loss as probably a win because of the fallout that came out of it with Mercedes Lewis organizing a meeting with all the entire offense basically just going in on Waldron, saying what's wrong with the entire offense because afterward he's been a lot better. And it's not just, oh, they're winning, so he's better. It's a lot of the small stuff. I mean, Doug Creamer at fullback is genius. You're getting Cole Kmet more involved when he wasn't
There you
involved,
go.
which I assume we'll get to him more as he's the topic of the show. And you're just getting a lot more
Right.
guys involved. The run game's working. The offensive line looks a lot better. It's just a well-oiled machine now, and you got to give Waldron a lot of credit. It takes a real man to listen to criticism and not maybe get upset or stay stubborn, but he listened, and it's working.
That's a great point, Mike. Great point, man.
Good point, Mike. Yes, yes.
So
BJ.
beyond just the meeting with Waldron, I think that the difference from week 1 to now is that the team is growing. It's a new system, so the team is learning and adapting. And I said it at the beginning that it's going to take time for this team to actually start gelling. People, saying, "Oh, they're going to start coming out the gate, just bombing away," and I just didn't believe that because it's football. Football is a team sport. It's not just one person. It's not just two people. It's 11 guys on each side of the ball, and so I think that it's the growth of the team learning, the coaches learning the players learning the coaches. It's just all about growth all around, and I think you're starting to see that on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Yeah.
as the season go on, you're going to see it even more progress, and you're going to see just a masterful piece. I really believe this is going to turn into a masterpiece. I just think that it's going to just take time. That's my take.
Okay.
Now,
Q.
for me, it's two things. Like as far as Mike said, well, three. The meeting where they went in and told Shane Walton he sucks at his job so far.
I
Two,
said the same thing.
two is that Cole Kmet is way more involved than Cole Kmet because we all know the running back and the tight end is a rookie's quarterback's best friends out there. And the third, which is very underrated, and I'm surprised nobody brought it up. The O-line has been playing great since Nate Davis got benched. Cancer has got benched. So I think I said this before. I felt like he was dragging people down in that that O-line room. I think he was just toxic. He was a healthy scratch last Sunday. I hope he's a healthy scratch for the rest of the year unless somebody get hurt.
He's done.
I think
Yeah.
them finally had enough of Nate Davis and that got the players respect. Like, okay, even though he making all this money, his ass is on the bench, and the old line's been playing much better now, man, much better.
But they
So
probably got chewed out too, because I mean, it wasn't just Nate Davis, and I'm no fan of Nate Davis, but it wasn't just Nate Davis. That whole offensive line was really. It was 2-game stretch where they were.
But true, but the whole thing is, man, and sometimes in sports, especially team sport, one person can bring down a whole room, man. One person.
Yeah, I can see the energy.
Especially in football. Yeah, especially in football. Yeah.
Especially if they out there, because Nate Davis, he doesn't the hits program that Eagles is stalled. That's completely opposite from Nate Davis. Like, get him the hell out of there, man. And they finally did, man. I was so happy when I was a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing, man. I think the O line now, they're finding their groove. They're finding that's that five up front, So that's what I
Hopefully.
look at.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna touch on this really quick, and then I want to touch on this subject because I know we only got Mike for a little short period of time here. So, really quick, my take on the offense is not just so much the meeting that took place, but the emphasis of making sure that Cole Kmet is involved in the offense. I see this offense being very similar to a Kansas City style offense where the tight end is secretively in this particular
The focal
offense
point.
one of the primary keys and focal point when it comes to making making sure that everybody else can get open and have open lanes, because if you get him going early to where the defenses are looking for him and checking for him, that's going to open up things for the receivers, and as well as make it a lot easier for the play action game with regard to now here you can get Swift into space and let him do his thing. I think they outside of that meeting, they sat down and asked Caleb what does he feel comfortable with, and I think he spoke up as well and mentioned the fact that he wanted more emphasis placed on Cole Kmet early on, and they got that. So, with that being said, man, we're gonna jump into the topic at hand, which is Mr. Cole Kmet himself. So let's talk about this young man. This young man did some amazing things. If you think about it, on Sunday, the guy had what, 2 touchdowns and did long snapping,
Jack of all
and
trades.
people don't put it, it's funny. And that's the thing. And long snapping gets overlooked. And that's, "No, he's just snapping the ball." Yeah, it ain't that easy. You might think it is. But with that being said, our topic tonight is how important is Kmet to the Bears? Well, according to that contract, he's pretty important. But contract aside, what we've seen thus far, just in this last game, Mike, how important is Kmet to the Bears?
Well, I think you got to look at the stats first. He is second on the team in receptions, only behind DJ Moore. He's second in yards, only behind DJ Moore. And he's tied for the lead in touchdowns with DJ Moore. So he's basically a little less than DJ Moore. So if you think DJ Moore's important, well, you got to think Cole Kmet's pretty important, don't you? But when he fits into the offense, he's the safety blanket.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen plenty of times, Caleb's able to go through his reads. He's not a guy that throws to his first read very often. If the wide receivers aren't open, you bet Cole Kmet's probably open. And he's able to get the run after catch. You see him stiff that DB to the ground? I mean, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
How can you not
Yeah.
keep throwing to a guy that can do that to an opposing defense? And he's also being used. Week 1, he wasn't used. I don't know why. That was the old Shane Waldron. Not really sure what his thought process was there in week 1 was Tennessee, because Gerald Everett outsnapped him. So really, he's probably only played 5 games, and has these stats. I mean, when you see him, he's used them up the seam and a little bit of a safety blanket. So if he's able to go both ways, vertical and a check down, he's like a 5th wide receiver, a 4th wide receiver, next to Dunze, Allen, and Moore. He's critical to this offense.
I definitely agree with you. BJ, how important is Cole Kmet, my man?
Cole Kmet might, in fact, be the most important offensive player outside of the quarterback. And I say this. The reason why I say that is he might not be the most feared, but he's the most important, because, like Q said, he is going to open up the field for other players. If Cole Kmet gets going and is being a threat on the field, just imagine what it's going to do for not just for DJ, not just for Allen and Rome, but for Swift. What it's going to do for every offensive uh, specialty player out there, it's just going to open up the field for them.
Yeah.
I
agree.
I don't know. I've been a big Cole Kmet fan since he went to Notre Dame. I'm a big Notre Dame fan. So I just love that they are finally using him in his full capacity, because the first 2 weeks they weren't giving him, even the first 3 weeks, I want to say they weren't giving him the ball. They weren't even using him. And I didn't understand why. Didn't understand. Here is your top tight end that you're paying all this money to, and you're not using them. But again, it goes back to what I said earlier, that Waldron is learning. The coaches are learning. The players are learning. So he's learning his players. And so I think you're going to see a lot more of Cole Kmet going forward here.
Okay.
In a big way.
Q, how
Yeah,
important is
I
Cole
agree.
Kmet to this team?
I like what Mike said. Behind Caleb Williams, I'm putting Cole Kmet number 2 because in my opinion, I think Cole Kmet is teetering in that top 5 tight end position league wide. So when you have a top 5 player, he's going to be one of the most important players on your team. He opens up everything, and his blocking is getting better, and you could tell Caleb is very comfortable with him now. Thank God for that meeting, because Cole Kmet was not involved in the offense. Now you're going to see him get. He can be like you said, Bishop. He can be that Travis Kelce for Caleb Williams, man. I can picture it, and I see it happening. He's just picking up from where he left off last year, man. You know,
Yeah.
he's hard to.
It just takes time.
Yeah, he's picking up, man. He's picking up, and I love Cole Kmet, man. I think he's the top one of the best. I think he is the best tight end in the North, and I think he's going to be, when the season is over, he's going to be talked about the top 3 tight ends in the league this year.
Well, so we touched on something, man, and each one of you guys touched on it. And we talked about the first couple weeks of the season. It got mentioned that essentially Shane Waldron didn't script any. Most offensive coordinators script 15 plays for the start of the game to get your quarterback going. He didn't have anything scripted at all the first 3 weeks. He didn't have anything scripted, nothing. So they had no game plan pretty much going into the start of the games, where they were looking to get their quarterback going. And one of the things that I was harping on in the off season, which was, what is this offensive identity going to be? And I thought that was key. And I thought 2 key factors to this offense, beside Caleb, was going to be a strong running game, and how do they use the tight ends. And the first 3 weeks, I honestly felt like Waldron was crapping the bed. I'm like, this dude is, did they make a mistake? Once again, are we finna see where we can't develop an offensive player, especially a quarterback? And after that meeting, it's like everything is flipped, which is great. And kudos to Mercedes for calling that meeting, because that type of leadership, now we know, is definitely necessary. And it definitely helped this team, man. But I'm going to tell you this, in terms of how important Cole Kmet is, I honestly think Cole Kmet will be and considered one of the top 5 tight ends in the league by the end of the season. His numbers are going to be reflective of it as well. But I don't think it's really going to be about his numbers as much as his presence on the field is going to garner so much attention from the opposing defenses that it's going to really open up certain areas on the field for guys like a Keenan Allen and a Roma Dunzier to really be able to get underneath in some cases. And in most cases, when you're doing crossing routes, that's what is going to really help to where now you can take the top off the defense and hit deep. I just think this guy, man, is going to be, when it's all said and done, might end up being considered the MVP for the team this season.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
especially after. But it's one thing I want to get to, bitch. That bothered me what you said about the scripted
Uh-oh.
things. And you know what? I don't blame Shane Walden. I blame Eberflus for letting Shane Walden
I
go
knew
in
it.
there unprepared. Unprepared. That's one of my big problems. And everybody know I'm an Eberflus fan, but he lets his coordinators put the team in the worst predicament all the time. At sometimes you got to rein them in. From week one, I've never. I thought it was. I thought someone posted. I thought it was. They were lying until I seen it on ESPN and all this other stuff. How, as a head coach, you allow your offensive coordinator not to have scripted plays? That's been going on for the last 30 years in the NFL. I just don't get it. And that shit just bothered me. And I was thinking about it. I was blaming Walden the whole time. And I'm thinking about, hold up. All this gets the game plan gets Eberflus sees everything. How could he not say, hold up, where's the scripts? Where it's just mind boggling sometimes, like how he just doesn't rein in his luckily those players called a meeting, because if that wasn't the case, we'll still be where we at from week one, week
So
two.
are we questioning Eberflus now? Are we saying that
No,
he's
I'm not
not?
questioning him.
No.
I'm just questioning his decision to let that happen to begin with. But he fixed it.
Okay, wait a minute. No, BJ, guess what? Yeah, I'm going to
What's up?
question him. I'm going
Yeah,
to question him.
I'm
And
with
I'm going
you.
to tell you why I'm going to question him, man. Let's look at certain teams in the NFL and let's look at their personalities, the way they play. They take on the attitude of their head coach. I mean, the Lions, as much as everybody laughed and joked about the whole the speech that was given when their head coach took the job, talking about we're gonna bite kneecaps and everything, they playing like they bite kneecaps. You know, if you think about this, um, Kansas City plays like Andy Reid, man. Big
Yeah,
Red. Look,
yeah.
See,
look.
look,
You know what I'm saying? So if you really think about it, man, I think I'm not, and hear me when I say I'm getting on Eberflus, not in so much in a bad way as much as I want him to be more emotional, man. You don't have to always be in check. You know, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
sometimes he tries a little too hard to stay in check versus letting his emotions show to where it can pour out onto the field and let your players feed off of that. I want to see the players feed off of their head coach. Because right now, like the defense, to me, the defense attitude is coming off of the coordinator, man.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna be.
Oh, oh you can
That's
see
that's
that on.
that's
Yeah, you can see that. Yep, you can definitely see that.
that's his
yeah,
stamp.
hold up. But
That's his
hold up.
stamp.
I want to go back to somebody just said it wasn't Flus call. Walden has yeah, he has all the reins, but as a head coach, when you see something that's out of pocket, you step in and say no, we can't do this. That's the whole point of being a head coach. You
Right,
have to coach everybody. If you see something that's
right.
clearly not right, you step in. You don't let this
Yep.
man take your players in unprepared.
Yeah.
That's you think Andy Reid don't have scripted plays? You think no? As a head
But
coach,
Andy Reid's calling his own plays.
no. I'll guarantee you
Yeah,
it's scripted though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
but even with that, he still got 50. He still got 15 to 20 scripted plays at the
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
beginning of
Oh
you
yeah, for
every
don't.
sure,
game.
for
I
sure.
I, I get that. I get Flus trusts his coordinators, but at you can't allow that though. I don't care how much you
No,
trust him.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that, Q. I mean, as a CEO, man, at some point, you gonna let your business go down the tank because you're afraid to pull the coattail of one of your managers and say, hey, man, no, we're not doing that. We're not getting no production that way. We got to flip. We got to flip the script. And
Yeah.
that's why I was so upset. I'm like, come on, Flus. I don't, and the reason why I say he tries too hard to stay in check, because like even in the locker room after the game, bro, I'm like,
But
some of his speeches, man, it's like, come on,
other
man.
than
I
that, I
want
have
some
no problem
emotion,
with.
man.
Other than that, I have no problem with Eberflus. But like what Mike said earlier, thank God Shane Walton is a grown man and can take criticism, because the shit could have went
Yeah.
left.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
you
Yeah.
know, the shit could
Well,
have
we're
went
talking
left.
about the scripted plays, and
Yeah.
what I think normally like the normals, like your first 15, I think is what they call it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look
Yep.
at Shanahan, he does the first 25 and the first 25 in the second half. Like he does 50 scripted plays in a single football game, and he's one of the best coordinators in football. I think O'Connell is pretty similar. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
exactly 25, but I think he does first and second half script. I mean, it's just absolutely mind blowing. I thought like every head coach, it was like staple that you have to script your drive. And when I heard he wasn't, I was like, I genuinely was speechless. Like I didn't think that actually existed in the NFL anymore.
And you know what,
Just,
Mike? I'm glad you
just
brought
winging
that
it.
up, man, because I'm glad you brought that up, Mike, because if you think about it, when you go in at halftime, what do you normally do at halftime? You make adjustments. So if you're making adjustments at halftime, it does make sense to have some scripted plays for the second half based off of the adjustments that you're making, how the defenses are playing you, which is to me that's genius if you're an offensive coordinator, because now what a team might have saw in the first half, they may not see it in the second half, or if they do, it may have a wrinkle or two in it, you know. So I'm just glad that they got it together. I'm excited about this team and the growth that I'm expecting to see from it moving forward. I think now we got a quarterback that has the confidence in himself
Yes,
to
sir.
where he is, to where now he trusts what he's trusting his eyes and what. And look, Q, you know this, and BJ, you know this. I'm on record for being a Justin Fields supporter during the offseason and us keeping him versus and getting the so-called haul.
Yeah,
But
me
I
too.
have to
Thank
go
God I
on
was
record.
wrong.
I'm going to go on record to say this. Yes, I went on record and I was a supporter of Justin Fields staying with the Chicago Bears. But once they made that trade and we decided we were bringing in Caleb, I said, okay, I'm going to support our quarterback. What I was excited about watching this past game was two things. I saw a quarterback that went through his progressions, okay, and trusted his eyes. His eyes and his feet was aligned, and and once he made that decision to let that ball go, he was decisive in his throwing. But the second thing that impressed me with Caleb was the type of throws he made. He made some big boy throws. And I'm going to go on record to say this. JF1 wouldn't have made those throws.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Probably
I'm,
not.
I'm being honest. I'm being
Yeah, I
honest.
agree.
And this is no shade toward him because he's in Pittsburgh and I wish him the best there. They're going to figure out, they got to figure some things out and see what it's going to do there and let them do that, But that one throw when Caleb threw that seam route, that throw in the end zone to Keenan Allen toward the back of
Back
the end
shoulder
zone
throw.
under
Yeah.
that back
That was a
shoulder
pretty
throw.
ball.
Man,
That was a pretty
woo,
ball.
that was pretty.
That was a pretty ball.
That was
That was a
pretty.
pretty ball.
You know what I'm saying? That was a big boy throw, honestly. And
I think
I
that
got
was
to
the
be
point
honest,
when
man.
I text Q and told him we finally got us a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember I told you in the text, man, I was about to cry.
Yeah.
BJ,
I was
I
about
got
to
that
cry.
text too, and I'm not even in your contacts, brother.
Oh, you in there now? You in there now?
But no, man, I'm excited, man. We touched on the subject of the importance of Cole Kmet. And Mike, let us know when you got to cut out, brother. But I want before you do go, I want to get your take on something, man, that nobody's really been talking about, which is the emergence of Swift in this offense.
Mm.
Talk to me a little bit about Swift, what you've seen out of Swift in this offense these last 2 to 3 weeks that we didn't see in the beginning of the season. It had a bunch of folks saying, especially on social media, "Oh, I don't know why we went and got him. We need another quarter. We need another running back
Yep.
because he ain't it."
Yeah. Because when they first signed him, I'll be honest, I wasn't excited about it. Like, I honestly thought he was a big product of Philadelphia's really good O line. But and he kind of proved me right the first 2 games, and I didn't want to be proven right, but he's completely proven me wrong. He's been very, very good, and it, you can't be a good running back in the NFL though without a good O line. They go hand in hand. So if Swift is doing good, which he is, the O line has to be doing good. So they're a two-headed monster that goes together. But the other part of DeAndre Swift that's really been emerging is his game receiving game. I talked about Cole Kmet as his safety blanket for Caleb. If he goes through his progressions, he's not there. So is DeAndre Swift. Like, that was the big reason why I think they went and got DeAndre Swift, because he's such a good receiving back. He's third on the team in receptions. He has more than Allen and Odunze. So that just goes to show you how much importance he has in the receiving game. And you combine that with his emergence on the ground, he's doing everything for the Bears offense. It's a big reason why they put up 30 points in back-to-back games. Because if you have a threat on the ground and he can catch the ball, that's the modern-day running back.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let BJ jump in. I I see Swift being the Swift when he was in Detroit. I see that coming.
Mm.
And if we
Yep.
get that Swift in this offense with an emerging young quarterback, we're gonna man, we gonna be putting the foo fopping on some folks, man. But with that being said, go ahead and jump in on that, BJ. What's your take on Swift, man? What you thinking about?
I'm with you guys. Like Mike said, at the first 2 games, I was having buyer's remorse. I really was. I'm like, what the heck is going on? But then I had to be rational and I had to think about offensive line wasn't blocking at the beginning of the season. Offensive line just wasn't blocking, and it wasn't giving Swift the opportunity to showcase his ability. But now that the offensive line is stepping up, you actually see Swift stepping up, and then it's not just that. It's a he has a twinkle in his eye that wasn't there at the beginning of the season. You can feel that energy that he's like expecting that he's going to get a big play, and you can see it. You can see it. Even some plays where he gets tripped up, and you can see that play might have hit for about 10 or 12 yards, but he gets tripped up and only gets about 6 yards. But you can see it versus the beginning of the season where he was damn near not getting a couple. He was only getting like 1 yard a carry.
Right.
It was
Right.
it was it, so. I think on top of the offensive line blocking well, his confidence has gotten better and is showing in his game. Not just running the
Okay.
ball, but also receiving too.
I
So
agree.
and I think that's really important.
I agree. Q, before you jump in, everybody out there that's tuned in tonight, do us all the favor, please. Make sure you hit that like button for us, please. Share this content and subscribe also. Okay, do that for us, all right? Because trust me, it's not easy sitting here and talking about Bears football. And trust me, we enjoy it, but we do it for you guys, and we really appreciate you all chiming in and joining us tonight. So do us that huge favor. Hit that like button for us, please. Make sure you share this content. And for those of you who have not subscribed, subscribe. And for those that do share, tell those you're sharing it to, ask them to subscribe as well and hit that like button also. With that being said, Q, what's
Sure.
your thoughts on it, brother?
Like piggyback on what Mike said, the old line and running back go hand in hand. and also his running back vision has gotten better from week 1 to week 2, because there was some plays where he's actually taking the wrong cuts and stuff like that. Now
Yeah,
he's not doing that anymore. So I'm like, I was kind of wondering, like, yo, what is he seeing out there? Even when the old line gave him enough room to go, he was making the wrong cuts and stuff. But now he's look like he's fixed that. So he got his
That's
confidence,
swag.
and he did say he's been reading social media, so he heard what y'all was talking about him. He heard what y'all was saying, and he took that shit to heart. And and he said it. He said out his own. He said, yeah. He said he read it. So he put y'all gave him the fuel. Y'all gave him the battery pack, and I thank y'all, because now he's seeing, because it was some clips they showed him just running completely in the wrong hole. Like, what are
right.
you doing? But now
Yeah,
he's on point, man, and it's flowing with coming out the backfield catching. It's just beautiful, man. The offense is coming together.
The offense
all right.
overall is looking good.
Yeah,
Well,
give
not,
it
since we're still since we're on the offense, fellas, we cannot go without talking about this wide receiver room and what we're seeing out of these wide receivers. First of all, I'm glad to see that Keenan Allen is getting healthier, which is going to only pay major dividends for Caleb as the season progresses on. But with that being said, let's talk about that receiver room. What are your take on what you're seeing thus far out of the receiver room, and what do you expect to see after this bye week with this receiver room as well, Mike?
It's been basically everything I think we've thought it would be. Like DJ Moore is the alpha, which I think kind of most people would expect after he got that big payday in the offseason. You bring in Keenan Allen, who's going to play your X receiver. I know Dunze's just going to probably take a little bit of a back seat his rookie year, which people are already getting concerned about, like his production. They're comparing him to Neighbors and Marvin Harrison. Look, those
Why?
guys are the top. Those are the top
yeah.
targets
That's
on their team.
those are
Like
dumb.
Odunze
I
was
hate
a he's
comparison.
a safety option this year. Like when Keenan Allen gets hurt, he's able to step into that X role. But he's really a move down the road. I don't think they re-sign Keenan Allen, but he's going to plug right into that X role later. He's going to learn a lot from him this year, and he's going to be more of a future role. And he's looked good. Like it's not like he's not getting separation. He's getting separation. It's just there's so many mouths to feed in this offense. There's 4 or 5 legit guys when you get to Kmet and Swift that you can't really just feed the ball to a rookie wide receiver, especially when you have a DJ Moore and a Keenan Allen on your team. But these guys have all looked great, and they've all helped our rookie quarterback look a lot better week in. Every week he's improving, and it's a lot due to those 3 guys that he's throwing to most of the time because they're getting open and they're doing their job. They do their job, it makes the quarterback's life a lot easier.
BJ?
Receivers, I knew when we acquired Keenan Allen, I knew that regardless on the quarterback position, I knew that it was going to take time, but eventually it was going to gel together. And Keenan Allen was hurt at the beginning of the season, so he wasn't really in the fold so much. And Rome's a rookie, so he's learning the NFL game. But DJ is the the main fixture. He's the one that's your safety net.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not so sure anymore. I think Keenan Allen might be the top safety net going forward, especially with the red zone. Because I mean, if you want to talk about sure hands, Keenan Allen to me has the sure hands on the team. I mean, he looked very, very good out there last week. He looked very good, and but overall, I think the receiver is just going to take a little time. But I think we have an opportunity to have one of the top receiving cores in all of the NFL.
I agree with you on that. Q, what say you?
Yeah, it's two things. Like, I want to piggyback off of what Mike and BJ just said. The numbers aren't going to be insane because there's so many mouths to feed in the offense.
Yeah,
So
sure.
it's going to be as we see it's spread it out from week to week now. DJ had it 1 week. It was Keenan. It's gonna be spread it out. So I'm not don't expect no one to have 100 catches this year. I'm saying most people be around like the 80s to 70s and stuff like that.
You
And
think
it's
so?
like, yeah. Because it's weapons all over the place, man. It's gonna be spreaded out all over the place. I
Okay.
fly, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing because one might have 80, then you have 70, you have 50, 60. That's beautiful, as far as I'm concerned. That's everybody getting their touches. I think that's what's gonna happen. And what BJ said, it's they're really starting to gel with Caleb Moore. As you can see, he's getting more comfortable with the receivers. And the only thing I do disagree with you, BJ, I think Caleb is starting really realizing what Justin realized last year. DJ Moore is my number one receiver. I think he's but it's they just needed to gel with him with the rookie crew quarterback for him to get comfortable where he can trust them and stuff like that, which he should have trusted him from the rip, but it's going to I have no concern about the wide receiver room. I love it. It's legit. You can't double team no one, either one of them. Can't. So
It doesn't even matter who's the number one because I mean
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
they're both capable of being number one.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. But
you
I still
know, I
see I
mean,
still see more as Williams number one guy though when it's all said and done.
it'll make sense.
Yep.
It'll make sense for him to be the number one more because he is the one that got the long term deal, and you would want that from
And
a
and,
You
and
know,
like and
from a
like with
business side.
go back to what Mike said with the Roma dudes. I'm not worried about Roma at all because
No, he's a rookie. He's a
anybody
rookie.
Yep.
who knows football, if they watch the Bears, he's behind in the depth chart with everybody that's on the field with him. What so this
Right. It's
should be
not
no
like he's on the
concern.
bench.
Now,
It's
no, I'm
not like
saying he's
he's
not
on
on
the
the
bench.
bench, but as far as you
No,
got
no, no.
so
I'm
many
saying, yeah.
options, he's going to get his time comes. So comparing him to neighbors who's the basically the Giants' only option when he's on the field, and it's just ridiculous though. Some people
you
just don't understand football.
you know what? This is my take on it, fellas. I think we're just starting to see the tip of the iceberg with this thing. I honestly think with this offense, it's going to come down to it's going to be that pick your poison type of offense where
Yeah,
each week there's going to be another guy that's going to step up and be that dude
yep. That's what I see.
that's going to really be the one to really gut the other team because as a defense, man, you right now as a defensive coordinator, you got to think who do you double? I mean, I get it. You may want to try to put a safety over the top to kind of slow down DJ, but then you got Keenan, you got Rome, and again you got Cole. I mean, it's gonna get as well as let's not forget about Swift. So it's gonna be one of those situations, man, where I think Caleb has the capability of possibly actually throwing for over 4,000 yards and
This
have
year?
at least two. It's possible. I think, man, the more he get comfortable, I think they're gonna really start kind of taking the lid off of things, man, and letting this dude get loose.
Yeah,
Because I and he and in all honesty, and they're gonna have to because they're getting ready to face some defenses here in these next 4 to 5 weeks, man, where um they'll have the opportunity to kind of do that in a sense to start getting the attention of defenses and make them decide who do they want to double, who do they want to shadow. It's gonna get real interesting, man. But I think Caleb, if he don't throw for four this season, he's gonna throw for over 3,000 yards. That's for
oh
certain.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
Oh
see
yeah.
that. I see
It's,
that for
it's,
He's gonna
sure.
throw
it's
for
funny.
over 3,000 yards, man. But I honestly think, man, that with this receiving core, it's like walking into a smorgasbord. What do you want to eat most of the day? Do you want to eat more wings or you want to eat more shrimp? You gonna go get you a nice steak today? It's gonna be one of those situations where you're gonna have to really decide, you know, as a defense, who you gonna take the risk on? But more importantly, as an offense, he's gonna be able to spread that ball around, man, to where he's gonna get a lot of his yards after the catch with these guys, because all these guys can get separation and do damage, man. So I'm excited. I'm
And,
excited about this wide receiver room, man. And I just think it's, as the season progresses, I think it's going to continue to get better.
and like
Because don't
what
forget,
Mike said
we got
earlier.
Tyler Scott. Tyler Scott caught
Yeah,
a ball, man. By the way,
yeah.
we can't forget about
And,
him either.
yeah, and like Mike said earlier, the way and I think you mentioned it too, Bishop. The way Caleb was going through his progressions, he's not just looking at 1, 2 and taking off. It was 1, 2,
Mm-mm.
3, 4, and that right there is so important. So that was just a beauty thing to see him going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then boom, like Mike. That's when you know we got a quarterback, man. So
Yep.
that's why they all
Man,
going to eat. They all
yeah,
going to eat. That's
yeah.
why. That's why I say I don't think it's going to be that one. That one. Seems like last year it was DJ Moore with 100 catches. Then it was Kmet, and then it was just a whole drop off. You're not going to see that because Caleb is going to spread it around because he's going to be looking at all of his options out there, not just 1, 2 and take off as as Justin was doing last year. So it's
But you
going
know
to
what,
be
too, Q?
a good thing.
But what's good about that too, Q, and something I agree with you with regard to, there may not be one particular guy that'll get 100 catches, but I believe because of the way this offense is going to be designed, you won't need 100 catches to get over 1,000 yards receiving.
Exactly. Exactly. I
I
agree.
don't think they're going to need that. I think these guys, and then these guys, man, including Rome, man, these dudes run some routes, man. They know that route tree, man, is like, I love watching these guys run routes now. It's like it's fun,
Yep.
to see, okay, who's gonna get the ball next. And Caleb is smart in the sense where he knows what he needs to do to keep his receivers happy. And these guys believe in him, man. You can see that they're believing in him. They're liking the fact that he can throw them open. And what I liked about Caleb is, after he threw that interception, he didn't get rattled.
Yeah.
To me, that was key for me. I wanted to see how he would respond. And when he came back, I said, okay, that's when I knew we had a quarterback. I said, yeah, this dude is not, he didn't get rattled. He's going through his progressions. Yeah, this dude, we got us a quarterback. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I agree.
Facts. How long it's been?
Hey, before we get to the next
Yeah.
question and everything, let me give a quick shout out to the chat. Want to appreciate and want to once again appreciate all you guys for hanging out there with us tonight, chiming in, and we see that you guys are pretty busy in the chat. And uh, please forgive us. The bishop is back. I've been in a little hiatus for a while, so I'm a little long-winded tonight because I have not seen or talked football in quite a while. So uh, I'm excited. I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. Y'all just don't know. I can't. It's hard for me to refrain myself, but I'm doing my absolute best. But I just want to give props to everybody out there in the chat. Keep engaged, staying engaged. Keep the conversations going, because I want to touch on something moving forward. So we've talked about the offense. We talked about Cole Kmet. We talked about Swift and the running back. We talked about the O line. Um, I have to do this. Let's talk about this defense real quick. We're just gonna talk about the defense in its totality. Okay, because otherwise we'll be 2 hours in on this tonight. But
Yeah. It's almost that time.
defensively, fellas, are you pleased with what you are seeing from our defense thus far? Mike, I'm gonna let you jump in on this, man. Are you pleased with what you're seeing from the defense?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be the last one before I dip out of here real quick. But
Yeah,
yeah,
me
I
too.
mean, when you look at the totality of the defense, they're exactly what you expected, right? This is a total shutdown defensive unit on every single level. It's not just, oh, their secondary is good. They lack a little bit of pass rush. The linebackers aren't exactly the greatest, but your secondary is good. Or, one of the other ones are better than the other. All three are elite. All three. And a lot of that goes back to Jervon Dexter, because I think everyone going into the year would say, yeah, your D tackle is probably not the best, but everywhere else looks
Right.
good.
Right.
Now there really isn't a weakness. You could maybe say, yeah, I think edge, probably a second edge rusher. Like you could probably use one more of those, but not every defense is going to have every single position filled. You have 2 good safeties, 3 good corners, 4 good linebackers, and 3 good linemen. I mean, you really can't ask for too much more. I mean, this is what is it now? Is it 11 games? They
Yep.
haven't allowed 20 points or something like that. Like they are just on a complete tear ever since they've gotten Montez Sweat. They take the ball away. They get to the quarterback. They don't stop the run the greatest. That's maybe one thing that you could maybe harp on them is, but they did in London. They did pretty good against the run in London, but overall maybe a little shaky there. But you can't ask for too much. This is like they've been really, really good. It's hard to criticize them, man.
All right. BJ, I'm gonna let you jump in on that real quick.
Defense has been 1,000% of what I expected. Now I would say this. What Mike just touched on as far as the run defense, and I mentioned this to Q. The Bears start off slow.
Yeah.
The defense starts off slow too. The defense starts off real slow, especially in first quarter. I would even say the first half. It's almost as if they're just bending but not breaking. They're not.
Right.
They're not putting the heat on them yet. But as soon as they come back from halftime, that defense stops everything.
Yeah.
But we got to be careful though. The defense has to be careful with that, because when we play elite offenses, that can come back and backfire on us, because teams can jump out and just take it to us in the first half, and they can kill our whole mojo going in the second half. So, but overall, I'm very pleased with the defense. The defense, I really don't see much weaknesses on the defense. Maybe an edge rusher. I know going into the season, I was saying edge rusher, but I mean, to be honest with you, I have no complaints.
I think we're good there
I have
too.
no complaints. I feel like we're getting pressure from all angles, and then it helps
Right.
that we are actually blitzing. I like the fact that we actually blitz now. When you have Kyler Moore, Kyle Gordon coming off the edge,
Yeah.
I just
No,
I
I'm with
don't
you
know.
on that. I'm with you on that.
I'm very pleased with the defense.
Q,
Go
Yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
oh,
Q, I'm gonna have you jump in on the defense real quick, Mike. Before you go, we're gonna touch on something, brother. I know you got to get out of here, but Q, give us a quick rundown on your take on the defense, and then we're gonna end the show with something I know everybody wants to
okay.
talk about. But Q, give me a quick rundown on the defense.
My quick rundown, real quick, is y'all going. In my opinion, Super Bowl defense, championship defense. No complaints from me. Championship,
Okay,
championship defense.
I asked for a quick rundown, and that was a quick
No
rundown.
complaints. That it's Super
Okay,
Bowl
y'all.
defense. I honestly believe that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, fellas. Check it out. We're gonna be cognizant of everybody's time, but before we wrap things up here, the chat wants to know, and we need to talk about this because although we are in a bye week, let's talk about this upcoming game against Washington.
Woo, that's gonna be it.
So, what? Let me frame this the right way. We have the number 1 and the number 2 drafted quarterback
Okay.
going up against one another. Washington is playing better than anybody thought they would. Well, I'm not. Let me put it like this: I thought that they would be decent. I'm not. I didn't think they would be this good this early. But with that being said, what are your thoughts about this upcoming game against Washington? And what do you think is going to be the key to a Bears victory against Washington? Mike, I'm gonna let you have that.
Ooh, key to a Bears victory. I think it's just play how you've been playing. Like I think the past three defenses they played ranked 32nd, 31st, 30. So nothing too impressive. Washington's 28th. Like their defense is bad. It's a
Yeah.
terrible defense. And you know your defense is Super Bowl caliber. I agree with Q on that front. So if your defense plays to its standard, maybe they score 20, it's a good offense still on the other side. I'm not going to expect them to put up 10, right? Like maybe Jacksonville did or struggle like Jacksonville. But again, your offense is going to have to be the key to this game. Like, I don't think Washington will be able to keep up with you. If you score 24, you're going to win this game. And quite honestly, with the mismatch, like you look at these two teams on paper, it's not close. The Bears have a better roster head to toe. They've just been really coached well on that offensive side of the ball, and it's been the reason they're winning games. I honestly think the Bears beat them by 2 possessions in 2 weeks. Maybe that's a little bit of a hopium from being a Bears fan right now, but
Nice.
I truly think that Bears defense gets to them. They're a tough task, and the offense keeps it rolling. I mean, you could look at a 27-17 game.
Nice. I like it.
Okay. All right. BJ, chime in, brother.
I think the key to success against Washington, the Bears are going to. And I'm always nervous about the Bears playing against a running quarterback. They have to contain Jaden Daniels. If they can contain him and force him to make errant throws and force him to react when he doesn't want to, I think that's going to be key. Because if we slow the offense down, I think we could like Mike said, I think we could win by a couple of scores. But if we're not containing him and he's just throwing and running all over the place, we might be in a shootout. Because I don't really have that much confidence in Washington's defense. I mean, they're okay. Yeah. They're not terrible, but I think our offense is way superior to their defense. So I don't know. It's going to be a game that I'm really intrigued to watch for sure.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
Very intrigued to watch.
Q, go ahead and give it to us. Q, what you think?
I got the Bears winning, of course. Just want to get that to win. But the key to the thing is I seen the stat where Jaden Daniels he's completes 7% of his first read. So they got to try to take that first read away from him and make him use his eyes, which he hasn't really done this season at all. So I think that's really key. That's really key right there. Make him actually scan the field and not because right now they basically, which is smart for the like Mike said, he's been the coaching. He's basically running a college offense with the one read and go. Take that away from him, and Bears got a great chance of winning that game. Great chance. Make him use his eyes.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm gonna tell you, my takeaway is this. I think he's gonna get an introduction to Mr. Montez Sweat that game.
Revenge game.
I think Montez Sweat is gonna come in. Yeah, I think he's gonna have a major chip on his shoulder.
Great point, Mike.
I also think that we're going to see something that you had touched on earlier, Q, with regard to the uptick in blitzes. I think there's going to be heavy blitzing that game to make him uncomfortable, to make his feet to make him have happy feet. As well as their defense isn't that great, and I think that should be a game where our offense really gets to clicking. I think Swift is going to have a monster game that game.
And
I think we're going to eat them up, and I think that's where we're going to really establish our run game.
And the I think the thing that the Bears have a advantage of, we played a good defense already with Houston. If you look at, even though Baltimore defense is right now is mid. They have names, but they're not playing
Yeah.
like we're used to seeing that Baltimore defense play.
Mm-hmm.
But this
Right.
would be the first game where Washington actually is playing with a defense that'll shut you down. So we got the advantage on that, man. I'm looking forward to the game.
Yeah, and me too, man. I think if we can take away that first option for Jaden, and, you know, to where, like you said, if he don't have that first read, if you can take that first read away from him, and keep a spy on him to where they don't and keep him contained, I think that's when he's gonna get. Yeah, he's gonna get introduced to Montez Sweat. I think he's gonna see a lot of Javon Dexter in his face too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
but I'm gonna tell you somebody I think might get loose. That and I saw him starting to emerge a little bit this last game. Remember this name, fellas? Austin Booker.
Ooh.
I'm waiting to see him come alive, man.
I hope so.
I think this might be that game. I think this might be this game because he was getting in the backfield a lot this
He
last
was,
game.
yeah.
He didn't get a chance to get his paws on nobody, but he was in that backfield a lot. I think this might be that game because there's going to be so much emphasis placed on Sweat. You know, and I think if Dexter can be as disruptive as he's been, I think that may open up some things for Mr. Booker, man. I got this kid.
Yeah.
I think by the end of the season, and we're gonna be talking about him. That's why I don't have a problem with our edges. I think we're okay at
But
edge. Me
before we
personally,
go,
I think we're okay
I
at
think
edge.
BJ was saying he think Velus Jones gonna break out this game too coming up.
Man, I'm so
Velus Jones
disappointed.
is his
They
guy.
Hell
won't
no.
even play him anymore. I don't understand. They won't.
What do you
even
mean you
play him
don't understand
anymore.
why you're not playing him?
I don't get it, man. I don't
It's
get
clear
it.
as day why you're not playing him.
Bayless is the X factor, man. They need to put him out there. Just
Oh
don't put
my
him on
God,
special teams.
man.
No, BJ,
Just don't put him on special
BJ,
teams.
guess what? I'm not. Guess what, BJ? No, you know what, BJ? I'm with you.
God,
I
crazy.
think that they should design some plays. No. Hear me out. I'm not saying make him a focal point.
No.
Well,
I'm
now we're not
saying
saying that.
one thing you can't coach speed, man. I would throw him in, man, a few stints at running back, a few stints on some jet sweeps, so just to mix some things up, man, just to
But
keep the defenses
but
off
but
balance a little bit.
here's
That's
here's
all.
my thing.
I'm not saying okay, we're
No,
finna throw the
here's my
Velas
thing with that.
5-6 times.
What can you do with a football player that has his position that can't hold on to the ball? What use is he? Can't hold on to
No.
the ball.
Crickets.
Yeah.
What Bill? What can I do with you? You can't hold on to the ball.
He only has problems
I guess
when the ball's high.
That's enough. That was his one job.
he shouldn't have any problems though, BJ. Unfortunately,
I know,
I mean,
I was just joking with
wanted him to
BJ.
do
I know he's a
well. I wanted
Velas
him
guy,
to do
man.
well.
I was joking with BJ. But that's all I got tonight.
well, hey, look, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap things up tonight, you guys. Again, to everybody out there in the chat, those that participated in the chat and those that's just been watching, we do appreciate you guys tuning in to us tonight. You know, welcome me back to the airwaves.
Yes, sir,
You know,
man.
I've been out of commission for quite some time now. You know, and it does feel good to be back. You know, it feels good to talk about some Bears football. You know, and I appreciate these guys. You know, welcoming back to the airwaves and allowing me to, you know, to come and be a part of their Thursday nights. You know,
There you go.
so I just, you know, I'm, you know, to my man Trax, Mike, BJ, Q, man, I appreciate y'all, I really
Appreciate
do.
you
You know, to
tuning in,
everybody
man.
out there, you know, in the chat and everything. Thank you guys for, you know, welcoming the bishop and letting me be a part of this, man. It felt good tonight to be able to talk some football, man. You know, so with that being said, we're gonna go around the horn one last time. give me your thoughts on what this upcoming week, what the upcoming game is going to be like, and give me a prediction, man. Give me a prediction, Mike.
Well, I think I already said it kind of in a little bit of the preview. I'm gonna go with Bears 27, Washington 17. I think they truly make a statement, and they're fully on the national radar after this game.
Okay.
Yep.
BJ.
I'm gonna go out on a whim here. 35-17 Bears. 35-17.
Ooh.
35-17. Mark my word. 35-17.
Hold on.
Write it down.
I'm writing this down.
Write it down.
All right, BJ.
Okay.
I got you on paper.
Okay.
I
Q.
got Bears.
What say you?
I got the Bears 27, Redskins 13. Bears keep that. No, Redskins 16. Bears keep that streak alive. Will not let nobody over 19 points. For
21.
another week.
21.
No, it's 19.
It's 19. I thought it was 21.
Well, under 20 points. Well, same shit, man. Under 20 they gonna keep the streak alive.
Okay, I'm with you.
That's a very impressive streak, though, man. That's very impressive. That's very impressive. You know how hard
Especially
that is
where
in the
the
NFL.
defense came from at the beginning of last year to where they are now. So I'm with you.
Yeah, man. All right.
Well, I got the Bears winning. Of course, I got the Bears winning this game, man. I got the Bears with 28 points. Y'all heard this from me, brother. I don't think Washington's gonna score more than 14.
Here
we go.
I really think the defense is gonna come and show out. They're gonna come show out for Mr. Sweat. I think they got a little trick up their sleeve. They're gonna make Jaden very uncomfortable. And that's gonna be the key. Making him very uncomfortable.
Yep.
He's gonna get an introduction to a top 5 defense.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, man, I think the Bears I think they're trending in the right direction. Our quarterback is definitely trending in the right direction. And because of that, the entire offense, no, not just the entire offense, the entire team is going to feed off of that. And I think they're going to go out and I think they're going to really go out and ball because they want to show that this young man was drafted number 1 for a reason. So with that being said, we're going to get ready to wrap everything up. You know, hey, it's Thursday night. It's been a wonderful night. We want to thank everybody out there in the chat for chiming in with us and paying attention to what we've been putting down tonight.
Mike, we sorry, man. We kept you longer than we expected.
No. Sorry, all good, man.
Mike, you always been great, man. You always
great.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Fun being on here, guys.
Yeah, Mike. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it, man. Definitely. Yep. Hey, but anyway, fellas, let's get ready to wrap this up. Give your final pleasantries. You know, give your thanks to everybody. Anybody you guys want to shout out or whatever. Give your final pleasantries, man, and we're gonna get up on out of here.
Just to bear down. Peace.
Bear down.
Mike, I know you're getting ready to get out of here, Mike, but go ahead and get your final pleasantry, brother. Who you want to shout out to? Anybody?
Hey, anyone in here? Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. I know it's a Thursday night. Probably got work, school in the morning. So appreciate everyone out here. First time, like, subscribe. Be sure to comment, hit notification bell, all that fun little jazzy stuff. Helps us all out a lot here at Chicago Sports Podcast. And we'll be back here next Thursday.
Yes, sir.
BJ.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Man, the chat has been bumping tonight. I mean, I haven't seen it like this in a long time, man. Shout out to y'all. I'm just so grateful to be here with you guys. You know, this is like a joy for me to be up here just talking Bears with you guys. This is great. I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Q.
Shout out to like BJ said. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man, and definitely shout out to you, Bishop, man. You know, it's dope having you on the show for Thursdays, man. Definitely
Yes,
looking forward to
absolutely.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
definitely looking forward to you leading the way, man. So it's dope. It's dope, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Well, man,
Appreciate you.
Oh, I
well,
do
I
want to give a
appreciate
shout
I
out to
appreciate that, man.
Tracks for begging Bishop to get on over here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I do want to do that for sure.
Look, man, I just want to say this, man. First, thank you to everybody out there that's been paying attention to us tonight, listening, chiming in the chat, being very active. Mike, BJ, Q. I want to appreciate you guys, man, for welcoming onto your Thursday night tracks. Appreciate you reaching out to me, man. You know, and we had to have some conversations, but it's all good. For me, man, it's bittersweet, man, because you know I had a lot going on this summer, and actually this last year and a half, I've had a lot going on. And I want to give a shout out to my man Nomad and everybody over there at the Nomad Network because he put me on, and gave me a platform and an opportunity to sit up and talk about something that I'm very passionate about. But more importantly, man, I just love my Chicago Bears. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, man, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get up on out of here. I ain't going to get too mushy, you dig? But I will say this, hey, it's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. I'm looking forward to the upcoming Thursdays. But more importantly, I cannot wait for me to come back because I'm gonna hold on to this piece of paper because I got these scores written down here, y'all. The only one I didn't write down was my own. But with that being said, we're gonna get up on out of here, y'all. Thank you to everybody that's been tuned in tonight. Really do. Once again, we do thank you guys. But do this for us one last time if you haven't already done so. Smash that like button, please. Share this content. Make sure you subscribe and share, and make sure you have anybody you know that loves to hear about Chicago Bears football. Chime in on Thursday nights when we'll be here chopping it up, talking about Bears football. But more importantly, man, we just want to say thank you to everyone. We hope that everybody have an enjoyable weekend. Be safe out there, and make sure you guys do one thing. Tell your loved ones that you love them and give them their flowers while they're here. We don't want to continue to have to do that when they're not here. So take the time to spend the time. And during that time, tell them you love them.
Yes,
With
sir.
that being said, the bishop is out, and I'm going to let the rest of the fellas take us up on out of here.
Peace.
Until next time, peace.
now.
Adios.